Haunted Secret Part 2, The Secret.
In the priest's small office behind the cathedral. The walls were adorned with crucifixes and images of saints, their serene gazes a stark contrast to the storm brewing within me. Father Michael, the elderly priest who had saved me the night before, sat across from me, his kind eyes studying my trembling hands. "I commend your bravery, Osoro," he said. "But as I told you, the road ahead will be fraught with trials. The Brotherhood will not let you go so easily." I nodded, my mind replaying Emeka's parting words. The Brotherhood had ears everywhere in Benin. By now, they would know I sought to break free, and their vengeance would be swift. But there was no turning back. "What do I do, Father?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The priest leaned forward, his expression grave. "First, you must seek sanctuary. This church will protect you for now, but you cannot stay here forever. Second, you must confess fully and publicly. Evil thrives in darkness, but in the light, it loses its power. Lastly, we must pray. God's strength is greater than any force in this world." I hesitated. Confess publicly. The thought sent shivers down my spine. The Brotherhood had connections in high places, police officers, politicians, even businessmen. If I exposed them, they wouldn't just come for me, they'd come for my family. "Father," I said, "my parents, my siblings, they don't know anything about this. If the Brotherhood targets them..." Father Michael placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "God will protect them, my son. But you must trust him and act wisely. You cannot hide from this forever." Just as I was about to respond, the door burst open, and a young altar boy rushed in, his face pale. "Father Michael," he panted, "men are outside. They are looking for someone." My blood ran cold. Father Michael rose calmly. "Stay here," he instructed me, then turned to the boy. "Lock this door behind me." The seconds stretched into an eternity as I sat in the small room, listening to the muffled voices outside. I couldn't make out their words, but their tone was sharp, aggressive. My palms were slick with sweat as I clenched them into fists. Then, a loud bang echoed through the church, followed by shouting. My heart leapt into my throat. Were they trying to force their way inside? The door to the office creaked open, and Father Michael stepped in, his face drawn but composed. "They are gone, for now. But they'll be back." "What did they say?" I asked, my voice trembling. "They were looking for you, of course," he replied. "But I told them you were not here and that they had no business defiling a house of God with their threats." I stared at him, my admiration mingled with fear. "What do we do now?" Father Michael sighed and sat down. "I have a contact, a journalist named Ifwiko. She's been investigating secret cults in Benin for years. She'll help you tell your story to the world. But you must understand, Osoro, this will make you a target like never before." I swallowed hard, the weight of his words sinking in. "I'll do it," I said finally. "Whatever it takes to end this." 2 nights later, I found myself in the dimly lit office of Ifwiko, a sharp-eyed woman in her 40s with a reputation for uncovering the darkest truths. Her walls were lined with stacks of newspapers and files, and her desk was cluttered with notebooks and recording devices. "You're brave, Osoro," she said after I finished recounting my story. "But bravery alone won't protect you. Once this goes public, you need to go into hiding. The Brotherhood will stop at nothing to silence you." "I understand," I replied. "But people need to know the truth." Ifwiko nodded and turned on her recorder. "Let's begin." The interview lasted hours, every detail of my involvement with the Brotherhood laid bare. I spoke of the rituals, the oaths, the promises of power, and the lies that followed. By the time we finished, I felt as though a weight had been lifted from my shoulders, even as fear lingered in the shadows. "Ifwiko," I said as she packed up her equipment, "what happens now?" "Now," she said, her eyes burning with determination, "we fight." The next morning, Ifwiko's expose hit the newsstands. The headline blared, "Escape from the Brotherhood, one man's fight against the darkness." My face wasn't shown, but my story was there for all to see. The backlash was immediate. The Brotherhood issued veiled threats through their allies, and rumors swore that they were hunting me. But something else happened too. People began to speak out. Others who had suffered at the hands of secret cults came forward, their voices joining mine. For the first time in years, I felt hope. I knew the battle was far from over. The Brotherhood would come for me, and I would have to face their wrath. But I also knew I was no longer alone. In the heart of Benin City, amidst its shadows and whispers, a light was beginning to shine, and this time, it wasn't just mine to bear.